Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone for coming tonight, and I call the meeting to order. Please do a roll call.
Bob Bowe, Charles Cooper,
Here.
Becky Duncan,
Here.
Vanessa Matthews,
Here.
Elizabeth Pendergrass.
Here.
Bob Bowe is absent, the remainder are here.
All right, the first thing up is the reading of the minutes. Would you please read those?
Regular minutes for February of 2017. Be it remembered that the Board of Mayor and Aldermen met in regular monthly session Monday, February 13th at 6 p.m. at City Hall in Jamestown, Tennessee, when the following proceedings were had and entered of record to wit. Present and presiding, the Honorable Darlene Mundy Davis, Mayor, Gail Dishman, Recorder, and on roll call by the City Recorder, the following members of the Board were present: Bob Bowe, Becky Duncan, Charles Cooper, Vanessa Matthews, and Elizabeth Pendergrass. Mayor Davis called the meeting to order. The minutes for the previous meeting was read, and on a motion by Charles Cooper and seconded by Vanessa Matthews, the Board approved January 2017 minutes. Mayor Davis welcomed everyone and gave an update on ongoing projects. Tom Bennett with Bennett Associates gave the engineer report. Bob Lane, the city building inspector, then gave his report. Bailey Allred, city attorney, then gave the attorney report. On a motion by Bob Bowe, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board on a roll call vote approved ordinance 1740 on second and final reading, fireman pay raise. All for, none against. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Elizabeth Pendergrass, the board voted and approved the financial statements for January of 17. On a motion by Vanessa Matthews, seconded by Charles Cooper, the board voted and approved to pay the bills for January for $384,771.46. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Becky Duncan, the board on a roll call vote voted to recommend the annexation of the Matthews property on Flatspur Road to the Planning Commission, with Vanessa Matthews recusing herself from voting, all for and none against. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Bob Bowe, the board on a roll call vote approved for the mayor to be offered insurance same as a regular full-time employee, all for, none against. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Becky Duncan, the board on a roll call vote approved for the gas department to proceed with the line extension on Wilder Road, all for, none against. On a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Vanessa Matthews, the board on a roll call vote approved Tom Bennett with Bennett Associates to be the engineer on the gas line extension project on Wilder Road, all for, none against. With no further business, on a motion by Charles Cooper, seconded by Becky Duncan, the board voted to adjourn.
Are there any corrections to the minutes? If not, can I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve it.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I do. Is there any discussion, any other discussion on it? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, they have been approved. Our next item up is citizen grievances. Is there anyone from the audience that would like to speak to the board? Okay, there are none, so we will move on. Just a short report on things going on. The soccer field sinkhole has been filled, still needing to be leveled more, but the weather is just not permitting. They did put the roller on it and tried it one day when they thought that it had drained off enough, but it just sank in. So as weather permitting, that will be smoothed up. Airport project, it's getting very close to finish on the big hangar. We're thrilled about that. They've been doing some of the sidewalk at the park, trying to get it finished up, and They have gotten some of it done, but of course, the weather at times is not cooperating, so that will get finished up. They're getting close to getting it done. On March 22nd, there will be a pre-bid meeting at 10 o'clock at the community center. This is on the roof, getting the pre-bids on the roof. When that is done, then on March 30th at 2 p.m., the bid opening, it will be at the City Hall. The pre-bid will be at the community center. The bid opening will be at the City Hall on the 30th at 2 p.m. Also, TDOT has approved for us to start taking bids on the beacon light at the airport, and so that date and time has not been set yet, and when it is scheduled, we will let you know. And that's pretty much all that's going on at the moment. The next item up is report from the city engineer. Do you have anything?
Just a couple things. Following our last meeting on the water system improvements, we had talked about having a meeting with rural development. Mayor, you've gotten back with me about the 27th, and I may have a little conflict with that, and so if it's okay, I'd like to communicate back to you and to rural development and see if we could reschedule that.
Okay.
Possibly for the following week or two after that.
Okay.
If that'd be all right, but
That'll be fine.
we've got a conflict with that, so I'll let you know when I hear back from them, and I'll coordinate through the mayor to the board. And then other than that, I'm just working on the environmental permits for the Wilder area gas system improvements, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Thank you. All right. Building inspector, Mr. Klein.
I have one or two things. The fast-paced clinic that's going to be built on the Hope property across the road, I'm surprised they've actually not moved some equipment up there and started demo. I have the drawings, have reviewed the drawings and approved the drawings, and have been communicating with them just about on a daily basis. And of course, I'm dealing with the design people, I'm not dealing with the demo people. He says any day that's going to happen. And they won't be coming and asking for anything. It meets the zoning, meets all setbacks. Everything they're doing is, it's about a 3,600 square foot building, best I remember. Pretty good sized clinic. Should be a real asset to Jamestown. There's some more things I can't tell you the name of it yet, but there's some more things that's trying to happen that hopefully in the next weeks that we'll see something happen on that side. A little cold stuff going on. I'm working on that. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lane. City attorney.
So for me this month, I have consulted with the city recorder to get together some things for the audits that are currently going on with the city, and reviewing some things that are in regard to the audit in general. And then also I'm continuing to work on the dark sky ordinance that I'm proposing to the Planning Commission. I'll propose it to the Planning Commission before you guys see that. The main thing I'm working on at this point is in regard to penalties or potential penalties. And I've reviewed about 5 different other city ordinances that they are using and what they're doing in order to enforce the dark sky things. And again, trying to make that as approachable for our community and cost effective as possible. So that's pretty much it for me this month.
All right, thank you. Under new business, this is usually where the financials are approved. And due to the audit, we have auditors here. There's 3 on site now. And due to the tremendous volume of things that they needed gathered before they got here, and then plus while they are here, There will not be presented, the financial statements will not be presented tonight, but will be presented with the March financials at the next regular scheduled meeting. Also, due to the audit, the monthly bills will not be presented tonight, but will be presented with March billing at the next regular scheduled meeting. Some more things under the new business is recently the governor released a bunch of money for distressed counties to TDEC, and this is Parks and Recreation. And you have probably already heard the county mayor talk about the petition and about what they have got in mind for their part of the grant. The governor really wanted city and county to go together on it, and that also makes it a faster turnaround on the money. Now, it's a petition to enter into a master plan for Parks and Recs, and the city and county enters into a partnership for this grant for a long-term Parks and Recreation master plan for distressed counties, like maybe over 4 years. And if the petition is granted, then this grant is 80-20, and the county and city partner in the grant application. The master plan will cost $60,000 with a grant for $48,000. The county and city split the local match, which would make the city's part $6,000 and the county's part $6,000. Once the city and county has done the master plan, then the city, we can submit, the city and county can split off and go after what they would like. This is for all over the county and also within the city, what we would like to see done with the grants. And for example, the city could submit like in 2018. That's when the grants would be opened up. And we could do like, we could submit like for a splash pad, which is a, and pool, which they would renovate the pool. It's kind of like a mini splash country. You can see those, like, I know there's one in McMinnville, one in Tullahoma, Knoxville, and it's something that would be just, I think the youth of the county would just go crazy over it, would just absolutely love it. But then we will be able to, the following 3 years, to apply for other things that we feel needs to go on that master plan to go after in those grants. And like I say, this money is pretty much going to come to us, from what I understand. It's just us going together with the county and applying for that master plan, and both entities going and putting down on that master plan the things that they would like to see in the next 4 years for our individual entities. We also, I have asked the superintendent, Parks and Rec superintendent, to hold up on the $500,000 that we have borrowed, that you're okay to borrow, the part that would be for the renovation of the pool, for us to hold up on that to see if we get the grant, and that money can be put on a CD and sit there until we receive the grant. And when we receive the grant, then that money can be taken out and used on pay down on that $500,000 loan. So it's a good plan, and I would like a motion for us to be able to go ahead and enter into that petition for to apply for the master plan from TDEC.
I'll make a motion.
Motion's been made by
I'll second
and seconded. Is there any discussion?
With the pool, you'll hold off on doing anything to the swimming pool?
Yes, except they will, Superintendent Brown they will freshen it up and get it ready, and it'll be prepared for this year, you know. But instead of us going ahead and spending that money to renovate, we just need to hold it and use that on the pay down. Because I'm pretty sure that we will be able to get the grant, so. Anything else?
Renita, I have a question.
Yeah.
Probably a crazy question. But because that was already made a motion to do that in those bids, do we have to like amend anything? Or?
I will say, I personally think that since the intention is that the money would still go toward the same cause, there's not a time budget on that. I'm positive there's not a time set on that when that was voted on. So as long as it's staying for that same purpose and that money that was voted on set aside for that purpose, I think it'll be fine.
Okay, just clarification. Just
Okay.
need to know that.
Good question. It was a good question. Good questions. Both good questions. So, any more discussion on it? If not, do a roll call vote, please.
Charles Cooper,
it. All right.
Becky Duncan,
4.
Vanessa Matthews,
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass,
For it.
all 4.
Okay, motion passed. Okay, the last thing that we have on our agenda tonight is the Jamestown Park and Rec Advisory Board. They've come up with a great idea, an excellent idea, to obtain sponsorship for signage at the park and benches. And so I would like to ask for a motion to approve, a motion for that, to approve for the advisory board to go and obtain that sponsorship on the park signs
I'll
and
make a
benches.
motion to approve it.
Okay, motion's been made by Charles
I'll second.
and seconded by Vanessa. Is there any discussion, any more discussion on it? If not, then do a roll call vote, please.
Charles Cooper,
All right.
Becky Duncan,
4.
Vanessa Matthews,
4.
Elizabeth Pendergrass,
For it.
all 4.
Motion passes. That's our last item on the agenda tonight. And so do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
Before
motion
you
to adjourn.
adjourn,
I'm sorry,
I would like to bring
Okay,
the council up to
well,
date
hold
on
up.
something.
I'm sorry.
About, not the last council, actually the council before that, concerning the old York Institute building, I don't know if some of you remember back then that building had fallen into a state of, about beyond repair. It was in real bad shape. Created a lot of problems out there at the school, and the council asked me to intervene and try to fix it. We did, but in that deal, we did get the thing mothballed and the fence took down and a bunch of stuff done. Kind of got they actually had the end of the new school closed down, and we got that opened back up. But in that deal we made, and that would have been about 7 years ago, we made a deal with Barry Sims and Bass, who was hired by the Patriotic Foundation, hired them to try to work a deal with us. We actually condemned the building, asked for the building to be torn down. The state of Tennessee did own the building at that time, and they agreed it did need that. And they actually put it out to bid, and it almost got torn down. But the deal was cut that within 4 years, that building would be turned back into a educational facility. Of course, 7 years later, it's not. It's what it was. It has been mothballed, and I've not been in it in a long time, so I'm sure it's probably deteriorated somewhat. The problem with the building is, under current building codes, that building could never probably be used for an educational facility without maybe going in and building another building inside that one. Because the type of construction that was used is brick veneer. Can't be bearing on that. So the only way that building could ever be of any use, they'd have to go in and build another building inside of it. And it was in the millions and millions that it was gonna cost to do that. The outside facade could probably be left with some structural deals done to it. But I just wanted to make the council aware, was you on that council, Charles? Do you remember when we done that? That deal was made for 4 years, and it's been 7 years. And every once in a while, I get a phone call about that building. I just want to make you aware of it, that that thing may come back up again. They're not going to say nothing about it because we're not after them, we're not asking them to tear it down or nothing like that. But they have really not fulfilled their end of that deal, what they agreed to do, and probably can't. Tennessee Tech looked at it. They was talking about putting a satellite campus up there. I think they concluded it was probably going to cost too much money. And I think that's probably going to be, and then there's the issue of whatever they do with it, is it going to fit in with what's going on there on that campus now? Security-wise, you have to be careful what they did put in that building, because you don't want a lot of public or a lot of strangers that could just walk on campus. So that's something you need to think about. I do have a copy of that agreement, and it has not been fulfilled. The promise that was made is 3 or 3.5 years past the date that they agreed to do something. The deal was at that time, if they didn't do it, they would tear the building down and clean the side of it.
Well, I think that the state was a lot of the holdup on that. Be glad to ask someone from the Patriotic Foundation to come and address the work session and tell us where they stand at on it. But they, I think, also had to submit to the state a plan that works in with the educational system. So I think you would really need them to come and address and talk about that.
Actually, the state give the Patriotic Foundation $500,000, and the bid to tear the building down was about $500,000. And they told them, they said, we'll deed it to you, and first they were gonna tear it down. That was the bid, so they was gonna tear it down. When the Patriotic Foundation started actually fighting with the city of Jamestown to prevent us from tearing the building down, then the state said, okay, we'll give you what it costs to demo it, but that's all you get. We're done. So what I understand right now, the building is actually deeded to the Patriotic Foundation at this time. And then they made the deal, and of course the deal's never been, it's never materialized what they was gonna do. And I don't know if it's a hindrance on campus or what's going on with it. I've not talked to, I don't even know who the superintendent is. Is it still Phil? Is he still the superintendent?
I
That
believe
might be
so.
something we might want to look at one of these days.
It's something to look at when you decide, you know, you would really need the Patriotic Foundation to come and talk to the council and tell us exactly kind of where they stand at on it, so I would feel, but you're just giving it to them for food for thought right now?
I am,
Okay.
in case you get asked about it, the Patriotic Foundation was adamant about saving the building. But the facts were not on their side. The building, like I said, in the state it's in, could never be made into what they wanted to do with it from a building code standpoint. It could never get state approved. There'd just be a lot of issues. The size of the building, just nothing worked. And I knew they wanted to save it. I mean, I really did. We tried to get them maybe to let us demo it and maybe build some type of a monument or something to Mr. York out of the part of the building, and they didn't want no part of that. So we finally come to that agreement, but the agreement it's still there, and the time certainly has elapsed on it.
I think they probably have answers for us on that, so when a time comes that you feel that you want them to come, I'll be glad to call some of them and ask them to come and address the
I'm
council
just
at a
making
work
you aware of
session.
that, what that deal is, and
Okay.
the deal's out there.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Lane. Okay, I had a motion to
I'll
adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn by Charles, and do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Becky, and all those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.